All right, hallelujah. We have success. Barak Yahuah. All righty. Well, this morning we're going to go ahead and continue on with our study on Yahuah Aluah. But this morning I'm going to read this, and I'm going to leave out the books and the verses, and I'm going to read this as a story and let the words speak to you. As you follow along, you'll be able to see the verse and the book that it comes from. Hallelujah. For a destroyer has come upon her, upon Babylon. Her warriors are taken, their bows are broken in pieces. For Adonai Yahuah is Al of recompense. He will surely repay. The descendants also are impudent and stubborn. I send you to them, and you say to them, Thus saith Adonai Yahuah. And go to the exiles, to your people, and speak to them, and say to them, Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, whether they hear or refuse to hear. But when I speak to you, I will open your mouth, and you shall say to them, Thus saith Adonai Yahuah. He who will hear, let him hear, and who will refuse to hear, let him refuse, for they are a rebellious house. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, this is Jerusalem. I have set her in the center of the nations, with countries all around her. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, because you are more turbulent than the nations that are around you, and have not walked in my statutes, or obeyed my rules, and have not even acted according to the rules of the nations that are all around you. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I, even I, am against you, and I will execute judgments in your midst, in the sight of the nations. Therefore, as I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, surely, because you have defiled my sanctuary with all of your detestable things, and with all of your abominations, therefore I will withdraw. My eye will not spare, and I will have no pity. And say, you mountains of Israel, hear the word of Adonai Yahuah. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah to the mountains and to the hills, to the ravines and the valleys, behold, I, even I, will bring a sword upon you, and I will destroy your high places. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, clap your hands and stamp your foot and say, Alas, because of all the evil abominations of the house of Israel. For they shall fall by the sword, by famine, and by pestilence. And you, O son of man, thus saith Adonai Yahuah to the land of Israel, and end. The end has come upon the four corners, north, south, east, and west of the land. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, disaster after disaster. Behold, it comes. In the 6th year, in the 6th month of the 5th day of the month, as I sat in my house with the elders of Yehudah sitting before me, the hand of Adonai fell upon me there. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, your slain, whom you have laid in the midst of it, they are the meat, and this city is the cauldron. But you shall be brought out of the midst of it. You have feared the sword, and I will bring the sword upon you, declares Adonai Yahuah. Therefore say, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, though I remove them far off among the nations, and though I scatter them among the countries, yet I have been a sanctuary to them for a while in the countries where they have gone. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, I will gather you from the peoples and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. But as for those whose hearts go after their detestable things and their abominations, I will bring their deeds upon their own heads, declares Adonai Yahuah. Say to them, thus says Adonai Yahuah, this oracle concerns the prince of Jerusalem and all the house of Israel who are in it. And say to the people of the land, thus says Adonai Yahuah concerning the inhabitants of Jerusalem in the land of Israel. They shall eat their bread with anxiety and drink water in dismay. In this way her land will be stripped of all it contains, on account of the violence of all those who dwell in it. Tell them, therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, I will put an end to this proverb, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel. But say to them, the days are near, and the fulfillment of every vision. For I am Yahuah. I will speak the word that I will speak, and it will be performed. It will no longer be delayed. But in your days, O rebellious house, I will speak the word and perform it, declares Adonai Yahuah. Therefore say to them, thus says Adonai Yahuah, none of my words will be delayed any longer, but the word that I speak will be performed, declares Adonai Yahuah. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, woe to the foolish prophets who follow their own ruach and have seen nothing. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, because you have uttered falsehood and have seen lying visions, therefore, behold, I am against you, declares Adonai Yahuah. My hand will be against the prophets who see false visions and who give lying divinations. They shall not be in the council of my people, nor be enrolled in the register of the house of Israel, nor shall they enter the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am Adonai Yahuah. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, I will make a stormy wind break out in my wrath, and there shall be deluge of rain in my anger, and great hailstorms in wrath to make a full end. The prophets of Israel who prophesied concerning Jerusalem and saw visions of shalom of her, when there was no shalom, declares Adonai Yahuah. And say, thus says Adonai Yahuah, woe to the woman who sews magic bands upon all wrists, and make veils for the heads of persons of every stature, in the hunt for souls. Will you hunt down souls belonging to my people and keep your own souls alive? Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I am against your magic bands with which you hunt the souls like birds, and I will tear them from your arms, and I will let the souls whom you hunt go free, the souls like birds. Therefore, speak to them and say to them, thus says Adonai Yahuah, anyone of the house of Israel who takes his idols into his heart and sets the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and yet comes to the prophet, I, Adonai Yahuah, will answer him as he comes with the multitude of his idols. Therefore, say to the house of Israel, thus says Adonai Yahuah, repent and turn away from your idols, and turn away your face from all your abominations, that the house of Israel may no more go astray from me, nor defile themselves any more with all their transgressions, but that they may be my people, and I may be their Elohim, declares Adonai Yahuah. Even if these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they would deliver but their own lives by their righteousness, declares Adonai Yahuah. Even if these three men were in it, as I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, they would deliver neither sons nor daughters. They would alone be delivered, but the land would be desolate. Though these three men were in it, as I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, they would deliver their neither sons nor daughters, but they alone would be delivered. Even if Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, they would deliver neither son nor daughter. They would deliver but their own lives by their righteousness, obedience to the commandments. For thus saith Adonai Yahuah, how much more when I send upon Jerusalem my 4 disastrous acts of judgment, sword, famine, wild beast, and pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast. They will console you when you see their ways and their deeds, and you shall know that I have done, or I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, declares Adonai Yahuah. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, like the wood of the vine among the trees of the forest, which I have given to the fire for fuel, so that I have given up the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And I will make the land desolate, because they have acted faithlessly, declares Adonai Yahuah. And say, thus says Adonai Yahuah to Jerusalem, your origin and your birth are of the land of the Canaanites. Your father was an Amorite, and your mother a Hittite. When I passed by you again and saw you, behold, you were at the age for love. And I spread the corner of my garment over you and covered your nakedness. I made my vow to you and entered into a covenant with you, declares Adonai Yahuah, and you became mine. And your renown went forth among the nations because of your beauty, for it was perfect through the splendor that I had bestowed upon you, declares Adonai Yahuah. Also my bread that I gave you, I fed you with fine flour and oil and honey. You set before them for a pleasing aroma. And so it was, declares Adonai Yahuah. And after all your wickedness, woe, woe to you, declares Adonai Yahuah. How sick is your heart, declares Adonai Yahuah, because you did all of these things, the deeds of a brazen prostitute. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, because your lust was poured out and your nakedness uncovered in your whoring with your lovers and with all of your abominable idols, and because of the blood of your children that you gave to them. Because you have not remembered the days of your youth, but have enraged me with all of these things. Therefore, behold, I have returned your deeds upon your head, declares Adonai Yahuah. Have you not committed lewdness in addition to all of your abominations? As I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, your sister Sodom and her daughters have not done as you and your daughters have done. For thus says Adonai Yahuah, I will deal with you as you have done. You who have despised the oath and breaking the covenant, that you may remember and be confounded and never open your mouth again because of your shame. When I atoned for you for all that you have done, declares Adonai Yahuah. Say, thus says Adonai Yahuah, a great eagle with great wings and long pinions, rich in plumage of many colors, came to Lebanon and took the top of the cedar. Say, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, will it thrive? Will he not pull it up by its roots and cut off its fruit so that it withers, so that all its fresh sprouting leaves wither? It will not take a strong arm or many people to pull it from its roots. As I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, surely in the place where the king dwells, who made him king, whose oath he despised, and whose covenant with him he broke in Babylon, he shall die. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, as I live, surely it is my oath that he despised, and my covenant that he broke, I will return it upon his head. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, I myself will take a sprig from the lofty top of the cedar and will set it out. I will break off from the topmost of its young twigs a tender one, and I myself will plant it on a high and lofty mountain. As I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, this proverb shall no more be used by you in Israel. Walk in my statutes and keep my rules by acting faithfully. He is righteous. He shall surely live, declares Adonai Yahuah. Have I any pleasure in the death of the wicked, declares Adonai Yahuah, and not rather that he should turn from his ways and live? Therefore, I will judge you, O house of Israel, everyone according to his ways, declares Adonai Yahuah. Repent and turn from your transgressions, lest iniquity be your ruin. For I have no pleasure in the death of anyone, declares Adonai Yahuah. So turn and live. Son of man, speak to the elders of Israel and say to them, Thus says Adonai Yahuah, is it to inquire of me that you come? As I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, I will not be inquired of by you. And say to them, Thus says Adonai Yahuah, on the day when I chose Israel, I swore to the offspring of the house of Jacob, making myself known to them in the land of Mizraim. I swore to them, saying, I am Yahuah your Elohim. Therefore, Son of man, speak to the house of Israel, and say to them, Thus says Adonai Yahuah, in this also your fathers blasphemed me, by dealing treacherously with me. Therefore say to the house of Israel, Thus says Adonai Yahuah, will you defile yourself after the manner of your fathers, and go whoring after their detestable things? When you present your gifts and offerings up your children in fire, you defile yourselves with all your idols to this day. And shall I be inquired of by you, O house of Israel? As I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, I will not be inquired of by you. As I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, surely with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, and with wrath poured out, I will be king over you. As I entered into judgment with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Mizraim, so I will enter into judgment with you, declares Adonai Yahuah. As for you, O house of Israel, thus says Adonai Yahuah, go, serve every one of you his idols, now and hereafter. If you will not listen to me, but my kadosh name, you shall no more profane with your gifts and your idols. For on my kadosh mountain, the mountain heights of Israel, declares Adonai Yahuah, there all the house of Israel, all of them, shall serve me in the land. Therefore, I will not accept them, and there I will require of contributions and the choicest of your gifts with all of your sacred offerings. And you shall know that I am Yahuah. When I deal with you for my name's sake, not according to your evil ways, nor according to your corrupt deeds, O house of Israel, declares Adonai Yahuah. Say to the forest of the Negeb, hear the word of Yahuah. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will kindle a fire in you, and it shall devour every green tree in you, and every dry tree. The blazing flame shall not be quenched, and all faces from south to north shall be scorched by it. And when they say to you, why do you groan? You shall say, because of the news that it is coming. Every heart will melt, and all hands will be feeble. Every ruach will faint, and all knees will be weak as water. Behold, it is coming, and it will be fulfilled, declares Adonai Yahuah. For it will not be a testing. What could it do if you despise the rod, declares Adonai Yahuah. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, before you have made your guilt to be remembered, and that your transgressions are uncovered, so that in all of your deeds your sins appear, because you have come to remembrance, you shall be taken in hand. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, remove the turban and take off the crown. Things shall not remain as they are. Exalt that which is low, and bring low that which is exalted. And you, son of man, prophesy and say, thus says Adonai Yahuah, concerning the Amorites, and concerning their reproach. Say, a sword is drawn for a slaughter. It is polished to consume and to flash like lightning. You shall say, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, a city that sheds blood in her midst, so that her time may come, and that makes idols to defile herself. If they take bribes to shed blood, you take interest in profits and make gain of your neighbors by exhortation. But me you have forgotten, declares Yahuah. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, because you have all gone aside, therefore, behold, I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem. And you Arab prophets have smeared whitewash for them, seeing false visions and divine lies for them, saying, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, when Yahuah has not spoken. Therefore, I have poured out my indignation upon them. I have consumed them with the fire of my wrath. I have returned their ways upon their heads, declares Yahuah Adonai. Therefore, O Hubbadah, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will stir up against you your lovers from whom you turned in disgust, and I will bring them against you from every side. For thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will deliver you into the hands of those whom you hate, into the hands of those whom you turn in disgust. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, you shall drink your sister's cup that is deep and large. You shall be laughed at and held in derision, for it contains much. You shall drink it and drain it out, and gnaw its shards, and tear your breast, for I have spoken, declares Adonai Yahuah. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, because you have forgotten me and cast me behind your back, you yourself must bear the consequences of your lewdness. Lewdness is the quality of being very sexual or lustful in an offensive way, and whoring. For thus saith Adonai Yahuah, bring up a vast host against them, and make them an object of terror and plunder. And they shall return your lewdness upon you, and you shall bear the penalty for your sinful idolatry. And you shall know that I am Adonai Yahuah. And utter a parable to the religious house, and say to them, thus says Adonai Yahuah, set on the pot, set it on, pour in water also, put it in the pieces of meat, and all the good pieces, the thigh and the shoulder, fill it with choice bones. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose corrosion is in it, and whose corrosion has not gone out of it. Take out of the pieces after piece. Take out of it piece after piece without making any choice. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, woe to the bloody city. I also will make the pile great. I am Yahuah. I have spoken. It shall come to pass. I will do it. I will not go back. I will not spare. I will not relent. According to your ways and your deeds, you will be judged, declares Adonai Yahuah. Say to the house of Israel, thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will profane my sanctuary, the pride of your power, the delight of your eyes, and the yearning of your soul, and your sons and your daughters whom you left behind shall fall by the sword. Thus shall Ezekiel be given you a sign. According to all that he has done, you shall do. When this comes, then you will know that I am Adonai Yahuah. Say to the Amorites, hear the word of Adonai Yahuah. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, because you said, aha, over my sanctuary when it was profaned, and over the land of Israel when it was made desolate, and over the house of Yehudah when they went into exile. For thus says Adonai Yahuah, because you have clapped your hands and stamped your feet and rejoiced with all the malice within your soul against the land of Israel. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, because Moab and Seir said, behold, the house of Yehudah is like all the other nations. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, because Edom acted revengefully against the house of Yehudah, and has grievously offended in taking vengeance on them. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, I will stretch out my hand against Edom, and cut off from it man and beast, and I will make it desolate from Teman even to Danan. They shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my danger, and according to my wrath, and they shall know my vengeance, declares Adonai Yahuah. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, because the Philistines acted revengefully and took vengeance with malice of soul to destroy every lasting hostility. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will stretch out my hand against the Philistines, and I will cut off the Cherethites and destroy the rest of the seacoast. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I am against you, O Tyre, and I will bring up my nations against you, as the sea brings up its waves. She shall be in the midst of the sea, a place for the spreading of nets. For I have spoken, declares Adonai Yahuah, and she shall become plunder for the nations. For thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will bring against Tyre from the north Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, king of kings, with horses and chariots, and with horsemen, and a host of many soldiers. I will make you a bare rock. You shall be a place from the spreading of nets. You shall never be rebuilt, for I am Yahuah. I have spoken, declares Adonai Yahuah. Thus says Adonai Yahuah to Tyre, will not the coastland shake at the sound of your fall, when the wounded groan, when slaughter is made in your midst? For thus saith Adonai Yahuah, when I make you a city laid waste, like the cities that are not inhabited, when I bring up the deep over you, and the great waters cover you, I will bring you to a dreadful end, and you shall be no more. Though you be sought for, you will never be found again, declares Adonai Yahuah. And say to Tyre, who dwells at the entrance at the sea, merchant of the people to many coastlands, thus says Adonai Yahuah, O Tyre, you have said, I am perfect in beauty. Son of man, say to the prince of Tyre, thus says Adonai Yahuah, because your heart is proud, and you have said, I am Elohim. I sit in the seat of the Elohim, in the heart of the seas. Yet you are but a man, and no Elohim, though you make your heart like the heart of Elohim. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, because you make your heart like the heart of Elohim, you shall die the death of the uncircumcised by the hand of the foreigners. For I have spoken, declares Adonai Yahuah. Son of man, raise a lamentation over the king of Tyre, and say to him, thus says Adonai Yahuah, you were the signet of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. And say, thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I am against you, O Sidon, and I will manifest my glory in your midst, and you shall know that I am Yahuah when I execute judgments in her, and manifest my kadoshness in her. And for the house of Israel, there shall be no more a briar to prick, or a thorn to hurt them among all the neighbors who have treated them with contempt. Then they will know that I am Adonai Yahuah. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, when I gather the house of Israel from the people among whom they are scattered, and manifest my kadoshness in them in the sight of the nations, then they shall dwell in their own land that I gave to my servant Jacob. Speak and say, thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I am against you, Pharaoh, king of Mizraim, the great dragon that lies in the midst of his stream, that says, my Nile is my own, I made it for myself. Therefore, thus says Yahuah Elohim, behold, I will bring a sword upon you, and will cut off from you man and beast. For thus says Adonai Yahuah, at the end of 40 years, I will gather the Egyptians from the peoples among whom they were scattered. And it shall never again be the reliance of the house of Israel, recalling their iniquity when they turn to them for aid. Then they will know that I am Adonai Yahuah. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will give the land of Mizraim to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall carry off its wealth, and despoil it, and plunder it, and it shall be the wages for his army. I have given him the land of Mizraim as his payment for which he labored, because they worked for me, declares Adonai Yahuah. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus says Adonai Yahuah, wail, alas for the day. Thus says Yahuah, those who support Mizraim shall fall, and her proud might shall come down from Migdal to Syene. They shall fall within her by the sword, declares Adonai Yahuah. And thus says Adonai Yahuah, I will put an end to the wealth of Mizraim by the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, I will destroy the idols, put an end to the images in Memphis. There shall no longer be a prince from the land of Mizraim. So I will put fear in the land of Mizraim. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I am against Pharaoh, king of Mizraim, and I will break his arms, both the strong arm and the one that was broken, and I will make the sword fall from his hand. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, because it towered high and set its top among the clouds, and its heart was proud of its heights. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, on the day the cedar went down to Sheol, I caused mourning. I closed the deep over it and restrained its rivers, and many waters were stopped. I clothed Lebanon in gloom for it, and all the trees of the field fainted because of it. Whom are you thus like in glory and in greatness among the trees of Eden? You shall be brought down with the trees of Eden to the world below. You shall lie among the uncircumcised, with those who are slain by the sword. This is Pharaoh and all his multitude, declares Adonai Yahuah. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, I will throw my net over you with the host of many peoples, and they will haul you up in my dragnet. All the bright lights of the Shamayim will I make dark over you, and put darkness on your land, declares Adonai Yahuah. For thus says Adonai Yahuah, the sword of the king of Babylon shall come upon you. Then I will make their waters clear, and cause their rivers to run like oil, declares Adonai Yahuah. This is a lamentation that shall be chanted. The daughters of the nations shall chant it. Over Mizraim and over all her multitude shall they chant it, declares Adonai Yahuah. When Pharaoh sees this, he will be comforted for all his multitude. Pharaoh and all his army slain by the sword, declares Adonai Yahuah. For I spread terror in the land of the living, and he shall be laid to the rest among the uncircumcised, with those who are slain by the sword. Pharaoh and all his multitude, declares Adonai Yahuah. Say to them, as I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked. but that the wicked turn from his way and live. Turn back from your evil ways, for why will you die, O house of Israel? Therefore say to them, thus says Adonai Yahuah, you eat flesh with the blood, and lift up your eyes to your idols, and shed blood. Shall you then possess the land? Say this to them, thus says Adonai Yahuah, as I live, surely those who are in the waste place shall fall by the sword, and whoever is in the open field I will give to the beast to be devoured, and those who are in strongholds and in caves shall die by pestilence. Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say to them, even to the shepherds, thus says Adonai Yahuah, shepherds of Israel, who have been feeding yourselves. Should not shepherds feed the sheep? As I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, surely because my sheep have become a prey, and my sheep have become food for all the wild beasts, since there was no shepherd, and because my shepherds have not have not searched for my sheep, but the shepherds have fed themselves, and have not fed my sheep. Therefore, you shepherds, hear the word of Yahuah. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my sheep at their hand, and put a stop to their feeding the sheep. No longer shall the shepherds feed themselves. I will rescue my sheep from their mouths, that they may not be food for them. For thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I myself will search for my sheep, and will seek them out. I myself will be the shepherd of my sheep, and I myself will make them lie down, declares Adonai Yahuah. As for you, my flock, thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I judge between sheep and sheep, between rams and male goats. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah to them, behold, I myself will judge between the fat sheep and the lean sheep. And they shall know that I am Yahuah their Elohim with them, and that they, the house of Israel, are my people, declares Adonai Yahuah. And you are my sheep, human sheep of my pasture, and I am your Elohim, declares Adonai Yahuah. And say to it, thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I am against you, Mount Seir, and I will stretch out my hand against you, and I will make you a desolation and a waste. Therefore, as I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, I will prepare you for blood, and blood shall pursue you, because you did not hate bloodshed, therefore blood shall pursue you. Therefore, as I live, declares Adonai Yahuah, I will deal with you according to the anger and envy that you showed because of your hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I judge you. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, while the whole earth rejoices, I will make you desolate. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, because the enemy said of you, Aha, and the ancient heights have become our possession. Therefore prophesy and say, thus says Adonai Yahuah, precisely because they made you desolate and crushed you from all sides, so that you became the possession of the rest of the nations, and you became the talk and evil gossip of the people. Therefore, O mountains of Israel, hear the word of Adonai Yahuah. Thus says Adonai Yahuah to the mountains and the hills and the ravines and the valleys, the desolate waste and the deserted cities, which have become a prey and derision to the rest of the nations all around. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, surely I have spoken in my hot jealousy against the rest of the nations and against all Edom, who gave my land to themselves as a possession with wholehearted joy and utter contempt, that they might make its pasture lands a prey. Therefore prophesy concerning the land of Israel, and say to the mountains and the hills, to the ravines and the valleys, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I have spoken in my jealous wrath. because you have suffered the reproach of the nations. Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahuah, I swear that the nations that are all around you shall themselves suffer reproach. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, because they say to you, you devour people, and you berate your nation of children. Therefore, you shall no longer devour people, and no longer berate your nation of children, declares Adonai Yahuah. And I will not let you hear any more the reproach of the nations, and you shall no longer bear the disgrace of the peoples, and no longer cause your nation to stumble, declares Adonai Yahuah. Therefore, say to the house of Israel, thus says Adonai Yahuah, it is not for your sake, O house of Israel, that I am about to act, but for the sake of my kadosh name, which you have profaned among the nations to which you came. And I will vindicate the kadoshness of my great name, which has been profaned among the nations, and which you have profaned. Treat something sacred, which with irreverence and disrespect among them. And the nations will know that I am Yahuah, declares Adonai Yahuah, when though I vindicate my kadoshness before their eyes. It is not for your sake that I will act, declares Adonai Yahuah. Let it be known to you. Be ashamed and confounded by your ways, O house of Israel. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, on the day that I cleanse you from all your iniquities, I will cause the cities to be inhabited and the waste places to be rebuilt. Thus says Adonai Yahuah. This also I will let the house of Israel ask me to do for them, to increase their people like a flock. Thus says Adonai Yahuah to these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter you, and you shall live. Then he said to me, prophesy to the breath. Prophesy, son of man, and say to the breath, thus says Adonai Yahuah, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe on these slain, that they may live. Therefore prophesy, and say to them, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will open your graves, and raise you from your graves, O my people. I will bring you into the land of Israel. Say to them, thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I am about to take a stick of Joseph that is in the land of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel associated with him, and I will join with it the stick of Yehudah, and make them one stick, that they may be one in my hand. Then say to them, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will take the people of Israel from the nations among which they have gone, and I will gather them from all around, and bring them to their own land. And say, thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I am against you, O Gog, chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, on that day thoughts will come into your mind, and you will devise an evil scheme. Therefore, son of man, prophesy, and say to Gog, thus says Adonai Yahuah, on that day when my people Israel are dwelling securely, will you not know it? Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, are you he of whom I spoke in former days by my servants, the prophets of Israel, whom in those days prophesied for years that I would bring you against them? But on that day, the day that Gog shall come against the land of Israel, declares Adonai Yahuah, my wrath will be aroused in my anger. And I will summon a sword against Gog on all my mountains, declares Adonai Yahuah. Every man's sword will be against his brother. And you, son of man, prophesy against Gog and say, thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I am against you, O Gog, chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. You shall fall in the open field, for I have spoken, declares Adonai Yahuah. Behold, it is coming, and it will be brought about, declares Adonai Yahuah, that in the day of which I have spoken, so that they will not need to take wood out of the field or cut down any out of the forest, for they will make their fires of weapons. They will seize the spoil of those who despoiled them, and plunder those who plundered them, declares Adonai Yahuah. All the people of the land will bury them, and it will bring them renown on the day that I show my glory, declares Adonai Yahuah. As for you, son of man, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, speak to the birds of every sort, and to all the beasts of the field. I assemble and come, gather from all around to the sacrificial feast that I am preparing for you, a great sacrificial feast on the mountain of Israel, and you shall eat flesh and drink blood. And you shall be filled at my table with horses and charioteers, with mighty men and all kinds of warriors, declares Adonai Yahuah. Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, now I will restore the fortunes of Jacob, and have mercy on the whole house of Israel, and I will be jealous of my Kadosh name. And I will not hide my face any more from them, when I pour out my Ruach upon the house of Israel, declares Adonai Yahuah. And he said to me, Son of man, thus says Adonai Yahuah, these are the ordinances for the altar. On the day when it is erected for offerings, burnt offerings upon it, and for throwing blood against it, you shall give to the Levitical priest of the family of Zadok, who draw near to me to minister to me, declares Adonai Yahuah, a bull from the herd for a sin offering. And when they have completed these days, then from the 8th day onward, the priest shall offer on the altar your burnt offerings and your shalom offerings, and I will accept you, declares Adonai Yahuah. And say to the rebellious house, to the house of Israel, thus says Adonai Yahuah, O house of Israel, enough of all your abominations. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, no foreigner, uncircumcised in heart and flesh, of all the foreigners who are among the people of Israel, shall enter my sanctuary. Because they ministered to them before their idols, and became a stumbling block of iniquity to the house of Israel. Therefore I have sworn concerning them, declares Adonai Yahuah, and they shall bear their punishment. But the Levitical priest, the sons of Zadok, who kept the charge of my sanctuary when the people of Israel went astray from me, shall come near to me to minister to me. And they shall stand before me to offer me the fat and the blood, declares Adonai Yahuah. And on the day that he goes into the Kadosh place, into the inner court, to minister in the Kadosh place, he shall offer his sin offerings, declares Adonai Yahuah. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, enough, O Prince of Israel. Put away violence and oppression, and execute justice and righteousness. Cease your evictions of my people, declares Adonai Yahuah. And one sheep from every flock of 200, and from watering places of Israel for grain offerings, burnt offerings, and shalom offerings, to make atonement for them, declares Adonai Yahuah. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, in the first month, on the first day of the month, you shall take a bull from the herd without blemish, and purify the sanctuary. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, the gate of the inner court that face east shall be shut on the sixth working day. But on the Sabbath day it shall be opened, and on the day of the new moon it shall be opened. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, if the prince makes a gift to any of his sons as an inheritance, it shall belong to his sons. It is their property by inheritance. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah, this is the boundary by which you shall divide the land for inheritance among the 12 tribes of Israel. In whatever tribe the sojourner resides, there you shall assign him his inheritance, declares Adonai Yahuah. This is the land that you shall allot as an inheritance among the tribes of Israel, and these are their portions, declares Adonai Yahuah. Then I turned my face to Adonai Yahuah, seeking him by prayer, and pleas for mercy with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. Yahuah Aluah, the God of hosts, Yahuah is his memorial name. I will cut off the inhabitants from Ashad, and him who holds the scepter from Ashkelon. I will turn my hand against Ekron, and the remnant of the Philistines shall perish, says Adonai Yahuah. For Adonai Yahuah does nothing without revealing his secret to his servants the prophets. The lion has roared. Who will not fear? Adonai Yahuah has spoken. Who can but prophesy? Therefore, thus saith Adonai Yahuah, an adversary shall surround the land and bring down your defenses from you, and your strongholds shall be plundered. Hear and testify against the house of Jacob, declares Adonai Yahuah, Aluah of hosts. Adonai Yahuah has sworn by his kadoshness that, behold, the days are coming upon you, when they shall take you away with hooks, even the last of you with fish hooks. Offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving of that which is leavened, and proclaim freewill offerings. Publish them, so you love to do, O people of Israel, declares Adonai Yahuah. For thus saith Adonai Yahuah, the city that went out 1,000 shall have 100 left, and that which went out 100 shall have 10 left to the house of Israel. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that Adonai Yahuah of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. Adonai Yahuah has sworn by himself, declares Yahuah, Aluah of hosts. I adore the pride of Jacob and hate his strongholds, and I will deliver up the city and all that is in it. This is what Adonai Yahuah showed me. Behold, he was forming locusts when the latter growth was just beginning to sprout. And behold, it was the latter growth after the king's mowing. This is what Adonai Yahuah showed me. Behold, Adonai Yahuah was calling for a judgment by fire, and it devoured the great deep and was eating up the land. Yahuah relented concerning this. This also shall not be, said Adonai Yahuah. This is what Adonai Yahuah showed me. Behold, a basket of summer fruit. The songs of the temple shall become wailing in that day, declares Adonai Yahuah. So many dead bodies, they are thrown everywhere. Silence! And on that day, declares Adonai Yahuah, I will make the sun go down at noon and darken the earth in broad daylight. Behold, the days are coming, declares Adonai Yahuah, when I will send a famine on the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahuah. Yahuah Aluah of hosts, he who touches the earth, and it melts, and all who dwell in it mourn, and all of it rises like the Nile, and sinks again like the Nile of Mizraim. Behold, the eyes of Adonai Yahuah are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from the surface of the ground, except that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, declares Yahuah. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Adonai Yahuah concerning Edom. We have heard a report from Yahuah, and a messenger has been sent among the nations. Rise up, let us rise against her for battle. Now Adonai Yahuah has appointed a plant and made it come up over Jonah, that it might be a shade over his head, to save him from his discomfort. So Jonah was exceedingly glad because of the plant. Hear, you people, all you, pay attention, O earth, and all that is in it, and let Adonai Yahuah be witness against you. Yahuah from his Kadosh temple. Yahuah Adonai is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He makes me tread on my high places. Be silent before Adonai Yahuah, for the day of Yahuah is near. Yahuah has prepared a sacrifice and consecrated his guest. Then Yahuah will appear over them, and his arrow will go forth like lightning. Adonai Yahuah will sound the shofar, and will march forth in the whirlwinds of the south. He will be great, and will be called the Son of the Most High, and Adonai Yahuah will give him the throne of his father David. Baruch be Adonai Yahuah of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people. But in your heart honor Mashiach, Adon of Kadosh, always being prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. Yet do it with gentleness and respect. For this reason her plagues will come in a single day, death, mourning, and famine, and she will be burned up with fire, for mighty is Adonai Yahuah who has judged her. Then I heard what seemed to be the voice of a great multitude, like the roar of many waters, like the sound of mighty pearls of thunder, crying out, Hallelujah! For Yahuah Aluah, the mighty reigns. And I saw no temple in the city, for its temple is Adonai Yahuah, the Almighty and the Lamb. And night will be no more. They will need no light or lamp or sun, for Adonai Yahuah will be their light, and they will reign forever and ever. And he said to me, these words are trustworthy and true, and Yahuah, the Elohim of the Ruachs of the prophets, has sent his Malach to show his servants what must soon take place. Now you have heard from Yahuah. Now consider what he is saying to you today. What he has declared in his word has not changed, thus it remains. Shalom. May you continue to do your mighty work in us, Yahuah. Continue to speak your words of truth. Let those that have an ear hear, and let them hear what you are saying. Let them be led by your Ruach, that your will is fulfilled in each one. And I just ask for your baraka upon your chosen ones, those that have heard, those that are pursuing you, those that are living righteously before you. Let your baraka fall upon them, Yahuah. Let them be Baruch in everything that they put their hands to. I ask for your baraka upon them, Father, in their finances, in their health, in their relationships with each other and with you. Barak them in everything that they do, Father, and let them continue to honor you in all of their ways. Continue to do your mighty work, and always we will give you the praise and honor through and in Yahushua HaMashiach forever and ever. Hallelujah. Barak the name of Yahuah. Hallelujah.